Overcoming something can be hard or difficult. Either it's facing your fear, recovering from an injury, or even worse, recovering from an illness. My Aunt Debbie went through a tragic illness. She's a hardworking, caring person. Don't take my word for it, though. It all started with a typical cold. The catch was, every now and then, she had a rough time breathing. And I don't mean asthma, which is a breathing hazard due to allergies. Friends, acquaintances, and family told her to visit the doctor's office when she had the proper amount of time. She was in Timmins, Canada at the time, so she flew to her physician in Toronto. The doctor wasn't much help at all. Him and his professional crew stated, "You just have a light cold. Nothing too big. You should be fine. Just fly back to your cottage in Timmins and get proper resting hours." Although she listened to the directions he had given her, she knew something was wrong. Was the doctor's theory correct? She didn't think so, but only time could tell. As time flew by, she waited for a sign. The breathing was getting worse and worse. That was basically the only real sign. She thought and thought, and then decided to catch another flight to Toronto as soon as she could. She took tests, and she was confident that she would be okay. Sadly, confidence was not the cure. It was prescription drugs. She found out that all this time, she in fact had pneumonia. She caught a flight alone back to her cottage. She knew it was all going to blow over, and when it did, she would be back to normal. She was not doing well at all. She got another flight and demanded to take tests. She wanted to see what her body was playing and if it would win the game or not. When the doctor came back into the room, he came with terrible news. They saw a tumor in her brain and a blotch in her left lung. The tumor wasn't big, but it was still there, and I can say, I don't think that you would want a tumor in your brain. The following day or week, they would have to operate on both her brain and her lung. She had just been diagnosed with cancer. The possibilities of the operation going wrong were horrendous. If for some reason one of the surgeons made a mistake, tragedy would strike like lightning. It's hard to know that you're in risk of so much possibilities. The sad thing is, you can't even control it. Someone else can. It's like putting your life in someone else's hands. I hate to say it, but at this point, there's no what could go wrong. The answer to that is lots of things. No one wanted to know what it felt like. Anyway, it was hard to have the operation because when you take it, you're not exactly asleep. They do numb you, but I can say, I don't think that you want to hear the sound of doors opening up your brain and then know they're going to do something to it. Not a great feeling in my opinion. Plus, the doctor told her that she had to lose all of her hair because if she didn't, hair would fall into her head. And since then, her hair never did go back the same. The operation went well, and she returned home the exact same day. Wow. But it was not over with yet. She still had to take her medication. She had to take all the above, chemotherapy and radiation. Usually people only take one or the other, but she was diagnosed with fourth stage cancer, and it was that bad. When you take in radiation, you cannot eat or be by anyone during the process. They could catch the radiation and become ill just like her. She soon was back to normal and was doing the things that she normally did. Hanging out with her parents, going out to fancy dinners, going out of the provinces. Sadly, 6 years later, that all changed when she went back for her yearly tests. She had trouble with her thyroid glands, which is in her neck, before she had cancer. This time, when she went back for her yearly tests, she had been diagnosed with thyroid cancer and had to get her thyroid glands out immediately. This time, if one of the surgeons made a mistake, my aunt would have lost her voice for eternity. When she was done with the operation, her tongue and back were black to the core. The medication had burned her through. Wow, she could finally return home. That battle was one worth fighting for. Like everyone, who wanted to fight more battles, and I'm not talking social studies. That battle was one that made history. Not Martin Luther King Jr. history, I mean her history. Today, my aunt remains healthy and outgoing. She claims without her wonderful team of family, she would not have made it. This proves that you don't have to be Britney Spears or Justin Bieber to be outgoing. You just are. Hey, my aunt is one tough soldier.